Hi everyone, Nick Kretikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and today you're watching me on Bowdabra. We have several interesting bows for Christmas to create for you guys today. This is the Bowdabra. It's one of my favorite devices at Christmas time. Essentially what it is a third hand for those of you that are just tuning in for the first time. As you come in, let me know where you guys are watching from. I'm here with my older sister Alex. She is recording for me today, which is awesome because she got out of work probably 4 minutes ago. She got home and came down here to film. So we're going to start off with some Bowdabra wire. This is a 100-yard spool, and you can pick this up at Bowdabra.com as well as the device, and I'll have links for those posted as well. This comes in handy. It makes the perfect wire to attach your bows. I was a little bit hesitant to use it in the beginning because I didn't know how sturdy it would be because I'm so used to using pipe cleaners, but it holds up wonderfully and it's very strong for such a thin wire. So we're going to be doing several different bows today. Can't decide which one I want to do first. Let's start with just a simple 5-loop bow. So here what we have is, I believe this is 3.5-inch ribbon. This is kind of a fabric ribbon. But again, as you guys come in, let me know where you're watching from. Comment down below if you would like to win a free roll of ribbon, whether that's scrunchy ribbon, which we have right here. It comes in gold right here. It comes in silver as well as red. Or I believe you still have the option of choosing a 2.5-inch wired ribbon. So this is something that I actually haven't worked with. This apparently works amazing in hair bows. So if you make hair bows or if you're interested in that, you can win one of these for free. I don't make hair bows, unfortunately, but if you do make them, you certainly can use that.
We have Cassandra from Montana. We have Tina from Kentucky. Debbie from Virginia Beach. Tammy from Kansas.
Welcome. Thanks for joining, you guys. So I'm just going to take a length of wire. I like to cut mine longer just in case I need to wrap it around something, and it just makes it easier to have a longer piece. And I'm just going to place that in the middle of my Bowdabra right here. So there's a little opening between where we're going to place the ribbons. So that's what I typically do. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut a length for our tails. I like to cut my tails separate. So we'll just cut a length for our tails. Sometimes the ribbon is pieced together. I've actually found 2 rolls of the ribbons we're using today that are pieced together. I hate when they do that, but I understand because they have to piece together rolls occasionally. So what we're going to start off doing is just cutting a length of ribbon. It depends on how long you want your tails. It truly depends on what you want. Then we're going to take our ribbon and fold it in half and cut from the middle out towards the wired edge so that we create a nice little dovetail.
Ooh, everyone wants to win.
Awesome. Yeah, again, comment down below. And if you guys don't mind taking a second and sharing this video, a question that I get asked more than anything is how to create bows. And that's what we're here for. We're here to teach you guys how to make bows. So if you have any questions along the way, my sister's here to ask them for you guys, and I'll be sure to answer them as well. But we have a lot of bows coming up. You guys know I absolutely love making bows, and I'm pretty particular when it comes to bow making. So we're going to start off just placing our ribbon in and creating a twist. So I'm going to take our ribbon and completely twist it around, and then I'll add some tension directly in the middle. You can make your loops as big or as small as you'd like. The choice is up to you. And we're going to repeat this pattern again.
Got a lot of people here. We have Charlene from Louisiana, Joan from Florida, Lacey from Arizona, Marianne from Salem, New Hampshire.
Salem,
hi, neighbor.
New Hampshire. Hi. Salem's not too far from us. So now we're going to do the same exact process, create 2 more loops on either side, and then what we're going to do is we're going to have three loops on one side and 2 on the other, and the loop that's extra on one side we're going to actually put in the middle. So these are all pretty much the same length. If it's not exact, you guys, don't put too much stress into it. It's going to still turn out just as beautiful. And this is wired ribbon, so we can kind of manipulate it and shape it accordingly. So now we're going to take our 3rd loop and our final loop, and we're going to create this one a little bit smaller. So about 1 inch or 1/2 inch smaller. It doesn't have to be a lot smaller. I do like to make them a little bit bigger because we're dealing with a larger ribbon. We're just going to snip it off there. And what I like to do, the Bowdabra does come with a wand that you place in the middle and kind of compress your ribbons. I actually lost my wand a long time ago, and truth be told, I didn't really need it. And honestly, you don't really have to use it. It just kind of compresses your ribbon. But if you just take your ribbon and push it down like that, you're good to go. So don't stress too much if you're like me and you lose everything. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie our bow together really tight, and then we can take it out and then wrap it once more. So I'm just going to wrap it around the bow itself for added security. But again, as you guys come in, let me know where you're watching from.
We have Gary who says hi.
Hi, Gary.
Sue is watching from Ireland in Europe.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I've always wanted to go to Ireland. Ireland and Germany are on my bucket list. Me and Alex will definitely go at one point, so we'll let you know when we're there. Might take us a while, but we'll get there. And then you can just fluff out your loops. What I have found is it's easiest to put it on whatever surface you're placing it on, whether it be a swag, lantern, or a wreath in this case. We're going to do a simple wreath a little bit later on, but just real quick to show you guys, all you have to do is take your bow, feed your wires through, and like I said, it's easiest to fluff whenever it's attached to your final design. If you're like me, you're going to fluff constantly anyway. But you can just open up your loops and fluff them and place your central loop in the middle and kind of poof it down a little bit. What do you guys think? Give some hearts if that's pretty. Very simple. It's okay if you see that. I mean, you could always cut it above that or cut an extra piece of ribbon. That's typically what happens, unfortunately, with a lot of rolls of ribbon. The more high quality your ribbon is, the less likely that's to happen. But we picked up this ribbon very inexpensively, so that's what happened. But a very simple bow that you can attach to anything. We only created 5 loops, and that's a perfect beginner's bow. But what we're going to do now is create another bow. So I'm going to cut another length of our Bowdabra wire. Just like that. Like I said, the longer, the better. It's always easier to take away from your wire than it is to add to your wire. And plus, you're getting a 100-yard spool, and that's going to last a pretty long time. So now we're going to do 3 ribbons in a bow. So what we're going to start off doing is actually cutting our tails. So I'm just going to cut our tails, and I'm going to create a rather large bow. So I'm going to cut these tails about 20 inches long. And then what we're going to do, which is, what is this step called, Alex?
Dovetail.
Dovetailing. So we're going to take our ribbons, fold them in half, cut from the middle out towards the wired edge, and you end up with a nice dovetail. So this is one of my favorite ribbons from Michaels. About an hour and a half ago, I found out all AC Moores are closing. Did you know that, Alex?
No.
All AC Moores are closing, or at least in Massachusetts is what I read, which is very unfortunate. I mean, I don't go there all that much, but it is a store that I used to go to all the time in the beginning.
Annette would like to know what a good bow is for Christmas planters.
For Christmas planters, if they're outdoors, you could just do a very simple non-wired velvet bow, which we're going to be showing you guys really soon. That's my go-to for outdoors. I love the look of red velvet for outside. But you could just do a traditional bow, which we've done before on Bowdabra, and we can create one later on if you guys would like to see it. But if you have any suggestions as to what you'd like to see in the future, let us know. We always love to hear your feedback. So if you have anything you'd like to see in particular, comment it down below, and we'll definitely take that into consideration and do a future video on it.
Tensi would like to know if you could make a bow with more tails.
Yeah, you certainly can. So we've done funky bows in the past, which is basically 50-50 with loops and actually it's probably more than 50-50 because we're doubling the amount of tails per loops. But yeah, you could definitely add more tails. So if you don't think you have enough tails here, you could always just attach 4. If we're doing more tails, what I often like to do is cut them shorter, or cut them longer. So if this one's about 20 inches, our next one could either be 16 to 18 inches or 20 to 24 inches, just to kind of have some depth. So now we're creating 2 more loops on either side so that we have a total of 3 loops, and then we're coming back in with more ribbon.
Bobby would like to know what scissors you're using.
That's a great question. So I couldn't find my good scissors. I was filming outside about a week ago. So these are Cobalt, which is one of my favorite colors. And I picked these up at Lowe's, I believe. It was a pack of 2 of them. This is like more like shears than it is scissors. These are some big, hefty scissors. But I picked them up, $6 for 2 of them. My all-time favorite are Fiskars because they seem to last forever. But these are doing the trick. So we have 1 more loop to add. Right there. And then we can just cut it off so that we have 3 loops on either side. Like this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come back in with our next ribbon, and our next ribbon is going to be just a 1.5 inch. So this one actually has another one of those seams that I was talking about, but we're going to see if we can kind of manipulate everything so that we don't have that seam. Actually, we're just going to cut it off. So I lost about a foot of ribbon, which, like I said, happens occasionally. And we're just going to cut another set of tails. So if you wanted to add more of the same type of tail, you can continue doing that. Or you could do what we're doing here, where we're alternating. So now we're coming back in with the 1.5 inch. So basically, if we're doing multiple layers of ribbon, I always like to start with the largest ribbon on the bottom and then work our way towards the smaller ribbon.
Libby would like to know, are the loops the same size?
So the loops are pretty much the same size. As you can see right here, they're slightly off. Not going to make a huge difference in the end because, like I said, we can just shape them so that they all appear as though they're perfectly even. So now these loops are going to be slightly smaller. So we're gradually getting smaller. So these loops are going to be about an inch or so smaller. And since we've done 3 on our first layer, our next layer is going to be 2. And I remember somebody asking if we could do the 3-2-1 bow, and I wasn't 100% sure what that was. I think this is what a 3-2-1 bow is, if I'm correct. I'm not really great with the names, but this seems to be what we're doing, where we're graduating from 3 to 2 to 1.
Tensi would like to know if multiple tails are added, are they added at the same time or in between the loops?
So I like to add them in between loops just for kind of a layered effect. So that's what we're doing. So we've added 2. Now we're coming back in with 1, and this is one of my favorite ribbons, which we haven't used yet. I picked this up in Illinois, I believe, last year. Actually, maybe over a year ago at the Craig Bachman outlet or sale, whatever you guys want to call it. But we're going to create 1 loop using this one. So we're just going to create a single loop. Like that, and we'll just have our tail running down. So I'll just snip that short.
Sorry guys, I just put my hand in the view.
Uh-oh. Sorry, you guys. That's what happens when we're live, though. So when you see pre-recorded videos and think, wow, like, everything's perfect, that's not the case. Sometimes me and Alex, when we do pre-recorded videos, it takes us, I don't know, sometimes 10 tries. If it's a bad day, it sometimes takes us 10 tries. And I think the reason for that is that me and Alex have the same exact humor. So she could say something, and I'll just lose it. So that's what happens sometimes when we do videos. But live, sometimes, you guys, it's really hard to contain yourselves. Especially when, you know, Alex is looking at me from behind the camera. Sometimes we say things that just don't make sense. But that's the nature of doing videos. So I just wrapped it around, and now we're going to create a couple ties. Like that. And then we can fluff our bow. So we can either fluff it in our hand, or like I said before, we can fluff it once we attach it to our wreath. We'll just quickly fluff it by hand. So I'm just separating the loops. But let me know what you guys are doing for Thanksgiving. I can't believe Thanksgiving's this week. Isn't that just unbelievable? I really can't believe that. It feels like it was Halloween like yesterday. And Thanksgiving's late this year too, I believe, right? Last year it was earlier, right? I think. Unless it's the same exact day every year.
I think it was earlier last year. I think it was
earlier,
like the 22nd or something. Jean would like to know if you're going to the California Crafters Convention.
I don't believe I am. I would love to go to California. My sister actually went a few months ago and made me extremely jealous. We did post she posted a video of her on the Golden Gate Bridge, and that's always been a dream of mine. And I think she just did that because she knew how badly I wanted to go.
It's a dream.
But it is a dream of mine to go to California. It's on the complete opposite coast. We're here on the East Coast, and California's as far on the West Coast as you can possibly get. Mm-hmm. And I think the flight's pretty long, too, isn't it?
It's about 6.5 hours, so...
Okay, so pretty long for...
It's long.
Same country. So I'm just wrapping a piece of pine on the back just so I can fluff it a little bit better and show you guys a little bit more. But like I said, if you have any ideas as to what you'd like to see in the future for bow tutorials, let me know. That's what we're here for. So then you can just pull your tails down. And I always like to run my fingers through my tails so that that sounded weird. I always like to run my fingers through these just so that I get any creases out, because it is wired ribbon.
Francis asked if you got engaged, but
I did not. No. My older brother did. I'm not quite ready for marriage. My brother, who is 26, right? I have to look at my sister for confirmation on that. He's 26. He just got engaged to a... I couldn't think of a better match for him, honestly. But that was exciting. Me and Alex were actually there to take videos for my business page, which they're pretty familiar with. I do stuff like that all the time. So they thought it was just, well, not my brother. He obviously was in on the plan. But she just thought it was, the normal routine. Little did she know she was going to get engaged.
Lynn would like to know how old you were when you started this.
Artificial, I started my business 3 years ago. Fresh, I've been doing fresh designs for a number of years now. But here's how the bow turned out. Look at how pretty that is. What do you guys think? Show some hearts if you like that. And again, if you don't mind sharing this video, I greatly appreciate it. It helps me inspire as many people as possible. And that's the reason for these lives. We want to encourage as many people as possible. And everything else that we do seems to be pretty easy for people to follow. But some people just have a difficult time with bows. And I really want you guys to understand that they're really not that complicated and anybody can do it. So that's one bow, or two bows. We're going to do another bow now. So our next bow is going to be a traditional bow using 2 ribbons. So this ribbon came from Jacobson Floral in Boston, Mass. I did a show there last week, which was really fun. It was awesome to see some of you guys there. And we did a live there as well. But that's the ribbon we picked up. This was on clearance for, I think, $3 or $4, which is a pretty cool ribbon. It's sheer with lots of tinsel. And we're going to work in some of this Sam's Club 50-yard polka dot. This is 2.5 inch. This is 1.5 inch. And we're going to cut a length of our Bowdabra wire like this. Place it into our Bowdabra. Fold it underneath. And begin creating our traditional bow. So often what I like to do is add my tails after, but for the sake of the video, we're going to add our tails first just to make things a little bit easier. So I'm just going to cut a length of ribbon. We can cut them as long or as short as we want. If we want to have a more dramatic effect, I encourage you to cut them longer. So we're going to
Elizabeth would like to know where to get the best ribbon at.
So there's so many different places to get the best ribbon at. If at all possible, if you have shops local to you. I know Trendy Tree just opened up a brick and mortar. If you have shops closer to you or local to you where you can feel the ribbon if you're just starting out, that's the best bet. If not, you could always go to trendytree.com. Deco Exchange also has lots of great ribbon.
Jean would like to know if you're going to use embellishments on the wreath. She likes it just with the bow.
So you certainly could just do just the bow. We might just stick a few picks in, but this wreath, you could have those in every window. We live in a colonial home, and I thought that would be very pretty just to have a simple bow in every window, then have a bunch of ornaments and decorations. So now what we're doing is we're taking both ribbons. I'm placing the 1.5 inch on top of the 2.5 inch. And we're basically creating the same bows that we've been creating, except we're not graduating from smaller ribbon. We're just going to continue working in the same loop size. And I'm just going to drop my ribbons to the floor. I find it easier to work that way. And we'll just continue layering. So the 1.5 inch ribbon is a little bit sheer. Like I said, it was on clearance and they had hundreds of rolls for, I think, $3 for 50 yards. So not a bad price for that. You just have to work with it a little bit more. But I think this is a really cool ribbon and I haven't seen anything like this before.
Cassandra would like to know if you've ever made your own ribbon.
Have I ever made my own ribbon? I have not, no. I mean, you certainly could with fabric. I could make my own ribbon for fresh flowers, but for artificial designing like we're doing today, I really only like to use wired ribbon, and I think it would be very hard to kind of wire your own ribbon. But I'm sure people out there have tried and have done it successfully.
Janet would like to know if that is double-sided ribbon.
So it's not. That's a great question. So every time I'm placing it in the middle, I am twisting it completely around so that we maintain the good side. So this ribbon is not double-sided, but I'm sure it could kind of look kind of cool like that. The other ribbon, as you can see, the sparkles are only on one side. So I always make sure to pinch and twist in the middle so that we don't lose the pretty side. And also it creates more of a rigid bow by twisting in the middle. So I encourage you to do so as well. So we've worked in 3 loops on either side. We're going to work in one more just to create a more powerful bow, a bigger impact by having more loops. And then we can cut it off. We can dovetail our tails and attach it to the wreath to show you guys. So here's our last loop. I'm just going to trim off my ribbons. Like that. Push it down instead of using the wand, and wire it all together. Now we can pull it out. Wrap it around the bow and then give it a couple good twists so that we don't lose it. So all I'm doing right here, if we zoom in, it will zoom in, if we get closer, is I'm just twisting it around the loop. And I'm going to do that a couple times just to make sure we don't lose it. I mean, the worst case scenario is the bow comes apart. So we definitely don't want that happening. And now what we can do real quick in our hands is just fluff out our bow. So pull our tails forward.
Sorry if I'm shaking, guys. This is an arm workout.
I know. Give some hearts if Alex is doing a great job. She's been working all day. She went to work really early today. So you know how much I appreciate them. I say it all the time. But filming is not the easiest thing in the world. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just separating the loops. And this bow I think actually would work for Valentine's Day. You could add some hearts. And Valentine's Day is coming up. Just a couple months away. I mean, a couple months seems like an eternity, but I mean, it's already practically Thanksgiving, and Christmas is right around the corner. So I'm just separating them real quick and easy. And then we can attach it to our wreath. And fluff it.
Brenda would like to know, will you be making flowers for your brother's wedding?
I will. Yeah, I will. So now we'll just quickly dovetail the ends. And we can pull our tails down. And there we have our third bow. And like I said, we can just stick in a few picks. And I'm not going to hot glue these for the sake of the video. But real quick, you could take some candy canes and place them in. I know a lot of people don't want to have a bunch of wreaths lying around. So if you're making this for your own home, you can kind of just place things in and take things out for each season. So just to make things real quick. Just taking a few picks from Hobby Lobby and a store called At Home and just placing them in, and you have a beautiful wreath for virtually under $10.
Yay, we have our winner.
Awesome.
So our winner today is Karen Sikrakek. Woohoo! Congratulations.
So reach out to Bowdabra, or Bowdabra will reach out to you, and you will get a free roll of ribbon. Congrats. I mean, who doesn't love free ribbon? So we've done 3 bows today. We've done the candy cane with the red. We've done this bow, which has 3 different types of ribbons. And then we also did... Oh, that was dipped in the glue skillet.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. I forgot that was on. So I'll take that off and take off the glue and show you guys that one. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's live. Again, if you don't mind sharing this video and liking this, we greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.